Hey there, fellow artists. This is Patricia Vargas of patriciavargas.com, where I share practical guides, tutorials on how to sell your art online. And today we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of international shipping. So let's start with the pros. And I'm going to be really honest here. There's pretty much only one or two pros. And the first is that international shipping can be a really great way to increase sales and reach a global market. You never know where it's going to end up hanging and who is going to lay some eyes on it, and that could potentially lead to some major sales. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the pros, is that you're going to get more sales and that it's going to increase your sort of global reach and brand awareness overall. Now we're going to get into the cons because there is quite a few of them. Number one is that shipping is super expensive, and I think we all know that. Shipping within the US is already really expensive, and people here don't even want to pay for it. And shipping internationally is like 3 times as much as it costs to ship it domestically. And so this high cost of shipping can really turn off international buyers, even though I think that they're a little bit more aware of the fact that they're going to be paying more because it is in another country. And that cost of shipping really depends on how big and heavy your art is. Even if you have a really small piece and it really doesn't weigh anything, like I sell art prints. The smallest thing that I ship, and I ship it in a tube, it's about 19 inches. It weighs less than a pound. It costs me about $16 to $20 to ship, depending on where it's going. And that's with the cheapest rate. When it's usually that small, I go for USPS First Class International, which is the cheapest, but it has some restrictions and it has some cons, such as not being able to track the package throughout its full route, which can later cause some problems, and we'll get into those in a sec. Now, they also have Priority International and Priority Express International, and those are the two fastest that they have, with obviously Express being the fastest. But because they are so much faster, they are so much more expensive. If I were to ship that same tube, that same 19-inch tube that weighs less than a pound, it would cost anywhere between $35 and $50. Yeah, that's a lot. And they also have size restrictions. You can only ship USPS International up to a certain size and up to a certain weight. You might have to find someone else to ship your stuff, which could cost more than those already high prices. Okay, so con number 2 is that the transit times are really slow. First class, like I said, is the slowest, and that takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks or longer. Yeah, it's really slow. And even shipping Priority International will take about 6 to 10 business days. And Priority Express, I think, is around 5 days. So it's really not even that much faster. And it's not even guaranteed. Okay, so con number 3 is lost packages. Now remember that I said that the USPS First Class doesn't track the package throughout its whole route? Well, this is one of the reasons why maybe you might want to offer Priority International over First Class, because with the First Class, it's not going to track that full route. So if it gets lost, where'd it go? And you won't know, and your customer won't know. Like, nobody knows. It's just gonna show up on someone's door one day, or it'll show up on your door or their door, or it's just gonna end up somewhere else. USPS Priority does track this full route, so even if it gets lost, eventually the tracking will catch up, and then you'll be able to figure out what happened to it a little bit faster. And I found that one of the reasons why packages tend to get lost is because the address system is a little bit different from the one that we're used to, especially if they're using other types of characters. Like if I'm shipping something to Japan and they send me the address in Japanese characters and I put that in to make my label, the system's like, what is this? Like, I don't know what any of this means, and then I can't make the label. So then I have to ask if they can somehow translate their address, which if it doesn't translate correctly, it could get lost. So that's kind of one of the hassles that you have to deal with. And then another reason why they tend to get lost is because they never make it out of customs, and it was just rejected by that country for whatever reason. That brings me to the last con, and that is that customs fees and taxes. Each country's custom fees and taxes are different, and sometimes they're dependent on where they're going within the country. So each state, each province, each city could have its own different tax, rules, regulations, whatever. I recommend to never say that you'll pay for the customs fees, because you have no control over how much they're going to charge, and it's really hard to even gauge it. So don't even bother. It could be like a few bucks, it could be several $100s. Like, you have no clue. Always make it the customer's responsibility to pay, but you need to let them know in advance, because this is an added fee on top of the already expensive shipping and the price that they pay for your art, which I'm gonna assume ain't cheap. So I really recommend adding that piece of info onto the email receipts, onto your FAQ page, your shipping page, maybe even your product page, just to let them know. Because if you just place it on one place somewhere in your website, I'm going to tell you that it's going to be easily missed. So after saying all of that, and hopefully I didn't scare you off, because I'm gonna say that if you're just starting out with selling your art online, or are even considering selling your art across the globe, I definitely recommend international shipping, and I want you to try it for at least 6 months and see how it goes. Because you never know, you could be an absolute sensation in another country. So you never know where the internet's going to take you. So again, if you're thinking about trying it out, I highly recommend testing it and seeing how it goes. And let me know in the comments, are you considering international shipping, or have you tried international shipping? What's been your experience with that? So if you like this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up, and you share the love with other artists who you think would find this information useful. Again, I'm Patricia Vargas, and I will see you in the next video.